have the advantage being able to practice. This is like,
Where are you from?
Texas wanted to break their disarm the legs for equalism reasons half on paper to the round robin.
that seems antithetical to the
Yeah.
thesis of. Yeah.
You got 850.
I got the plan. I got 830. How much you do?
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
You want paid?
Man, this better be good.
It's
For real.
not
It's
enough to
something.
be on paid, but
All right.
everyone good. Advantage one is more. The U.S. and Iran are sleep lucky. Just brought a conflict within the loose 130. U.S. and Iran one war, but after months of tension analysis, one of the countries that actually going into conflict by retaliation were causing are concerned about the response. One can feel the side subjects of the observers retaliation set up a wider with the U.S. and so much into war without and this an escalation is high. Iran parties together on the leading edge around the network restricting this whole expectation on Iran means the U.S. after back called for action, and the U.S. would nuke Iran after Rossi in this 19. It's interesting the U.S. and Iran are strongly carrying the possibility the U.S. would use nuclear weapons and capability such that the competition in the current U.S. nuclear posture open to the technical weapons sanctions set over to the first round. Iran is action requiring U.S. military responsibility in Iran to conventional requires time to use versus the nuclear postures were that they use best tactical weapons and mission foreshadowing that a showdown the nuclear option is on the table just provided for the sake of decisive victory that required aircraft response Iran as a regional superparties indicated imminent will not be kicked over the possibility of a conflict increases the likelihood of U.S. conflict escalation into nuclear war, and that escalates breaks the nuclear taboo and collapses NDT McDonald in 20. It's military attack around the nuclear have a profound effect on U.S. security. The nuclear use of break. The nuclear have been set off the instruments and that increases the likelihood of war. But the other weapons we use the NPT would collapse the nuclear weapons that the nuclear weapons do not have any assurance that not target, not target, then not reasonable weapons on the opposite not proliferate. The U.S. nuclear responses are only serious are only target increases the chance that uses opposed to the security opposed to the U.S. nuclear attack will produce some of the disables and combat bringing powers and the conflict created for the nuclear escalation. And the taboo solves every extinction impact. Copper 19. The taboo against use of the taboo against use of providing reassurance of barrier to employment so high that extinction fans from attacking maintaining the taboo has been extremely important area makes the world that allows you to defend that the nuclear taboo is concerning as the world that bringing the second nuclear as far as the development capabilities the taboo is very less robust than the new multiple air volume nuclear that have different values and new weapon system only complicated terms and complicated the limit of proliferation, and the NPT is key to prevent extinction. Good year as in 22. We live in a world where we have climate inequality and inequality to conflict of human rights and other devastation nuclear weapons have hated, but the danger remains the life on all life on earth, the weapons that are not used to respond to the rain. And taking going through the risk of the weapons and slide to the new point of the Cold War relationship are demanded by distress scaling competition and delegates absent transparency and shares and biological advantages of those vulnerabilities. Increased diversity of execution real like international famous second. The duties are hopes that the NDT nuclear weapons have not been used to enhance legal of any command to issue disarm that one in an occasion pledge not to use not to use fire and nuclear weapons and NDT is critical to the security of all people. We must reverse the interest and war escalates even if neither side wants to. Hirsch 2-3. Again, two nations that don't really want to fall outside so side more toward one absolutely the right neuron leader grappling with by launch of retaliation the shorter Shaikh by Iran and like the soldiers that run the president said that you try to Iran so Iran by not allowing to be able to know what he does around any it was like calling once it will get all over the Iran and US Iran will war just start to Iran with the claims the most Iran away the US and Iran themselves the right completely the Shaikh will shoot the rest of the league and the forces for deployed retaliation will shoot the dangers of the militia set around no longer direct no longer direct the evidence on from the here trigger and the pressure and deterrence is nonsensical and back in 19. The U.S. regime policy maximum pressure achieving that opposite of legislative goals by threatening Iran by the liberation. U.S. only increasing Iran safe the nuclear weapons and nuclear weapons for deterrence and effective in other ways. Nuclear coercion failed to do nuclear weapons to fight an aggressive way, storm conflict, aggressive to fear the might use of the force lines that Iran and capitalism and demand states are reluctant to capitulate because it's a stronger powers to escalate demands if the pressure works to ultimately get to conclude what work again. And threats are not credible. Stricken in 19 the U.S. signals that Iran fighters that have reduced credibility of previous policy. U.S. signals that sanctions they have never resorted to unfortunately later war around shooting the restrictions that the acting different than any different despite their bombs as the U.S. regime did not any endangered intervention on is that the U.S. and NATO will walk into a war that will signals that by negatively impacted by the official state of strongly certain the U.S. is ready when they stated that on a scheme war send metal messages the defense of immediate retaliate have a ultimate credibility to carry out initial attack they also not like the escalating because not resolve enough law where does not willing to know the consequence on that credibility that make signals that were the advice the U.S. attitude increase in immediate credibility also reduce ultimate credibility leading to wrong the U.S. not escalate. Next, advantage to proliferation continuing to threaten Iran causes the proliferation of nuclear weapons made out in 20. The presumption following we say was that is that the security leaders and the leaders in the accepting American domains. The reality has always been different. Policymakers have had little done in testing the third of all the nations. There's no evidence by obligations to achieve anything that Trump's not doing. Let's say to only encourage Iran nuclear activity, shortening the threat rate of Iran. The U.S. and Iran oil shopping because the destructive petroleum and encourages taxi nuclear is another argument for speeding up programs and developing new weapons to establish assurance that they encourage spend targets of the regime is even harder to where they have to put all options on the table, and it strengthens every justification pillar. In 20 21 encouraging not to turn around unit kills and for the attack the reference in his warning misrepresented punishment no matter what that destroys. This turns to the third when it comes to the side of engaged and directed against that. New observer the train is straight into Hagas Toronto, we run into the good turn to that. How the world to like the war and the release and the agreements and no doubts about the credibility of the United States. And proliferation causes Israel Iran conflict that cascades into Saudi and Turkey nuclear proliferation later in 2013. And everyone knows this way accidental exchange between the University of Iran and dangerous around a position to greater instability in the least accidental or never exchange between Israel and Iran is dangerous possibility, but the possibility set off a cascade effect encouraging regional rivals in the same direction in the Saudi, Egypt, Turkey, and Israel Iran war causes World War III heard. And 23 World War III were going to be started right here by the other Israeli Shaikh nuclear facilities for the followed by Iranian response, making that the global conflict very real nuclear exchange to lead massive destruction on Israel scale never seen in Europe. Affecting World War III with the astronomical extending farming on the warring parties of its infections of conflict is further under the fragile balance. And Israel policy is shaped by U.S. and threats of 2019. But the first people impact of U.S. nuclear guidance upon Israel. There's no ongoing reciprocal connection between the factor of policy people and suitable litigation that Israel shall do impact on the Middle East, also American benefits. The U.S. would not be a beneficiary, but Israel's planning to significantly and determining the effects of Israel nuclear option in the Middle East nuclear war. And Saudi nuclear proliferation locks in existential arms using arms race imbalance. And Saudi looks like they pursue nuclear weapons in response to a host of outcomes of drowning peace and stability for the civilian danger security Israel. This actual a number of targets individual visa as accident and attack on the Jewish state of Islam and clearly represent other greater something in the next and percent radicalization regional work with under regional objects or around increase the number of instrumented touch on Egypt or something initiated the Egyptian the Egyptian nuclear state. This cascade represent the worst case scenario as a real possibility. And so does Turkey proliferation clues and it's nuclear perils that we are going to build some nuclear weapons and definitely wants to have a German bomb in the release of the assassin nuclear arms and only Iran and the Saudi Israel and going nuclear superpower about the Europe in 1914 the similar as representing Armageddon and striking Iran wouldn't solve pearl inland and we don't tend to use further striking against Iran for the nuclear facilities of Washington is not an overt initiative something that can be revealed striking said but just 1 to 3 years of users or repeating wishes and mistakes increases the risk of Iran and nuclear response of the position and but assuming it was files and justifies their arsenal can't and 13 dropping into the on Iran Israel's building facilities would be one of the Europeans so with that for making reputation would also for greater proliferation the greater countries more likely to use our inventory or not set Iran's program Iran's would be able to reconstruct a record and leave in a crowd for the Iran or use the amount of Iran inside the nuclear weapons of the greater determination or sympathy for the British would also be making that nuclear Iran much powerful. Next, solvency. The AFF solves is critical and root driving factor in Iranian proliferation call at 113. The importance of the escalation brand involves the destroys around and the small sense of around our arsenal of the fears of the strong striker incentivizing use of elucidate taking steps to reduce it or fears in the U.S. return from important to minimize strong and regulation that should be good accuracy sitting in the same the U.S. would not even not carry the first strike Washington gave away carried enjoy overall superiority the U.S. and not need and then for first Washington should not clear use of forces so somehow announcement under our assurances will not derived our running regulation of funds and with the only scrutinize the U.S. authority policy markets the later cornerstone with the credibility of accuracies and the BCB around the U.S. and try to require a high level as possible Washington strike and as given retaliation of the if you gonna related conditional force unless you for around our mind conditional targeting for another first use would and not all mean factor around calculations and if you solve that thing it's 21 intervention advocate of usual and active accidental conflict legend of usual policy as a implication of colonial politics other German situation between us around the conflict and the two operations later on explaining global operations and the new governments and part of the charts and the situation the world US not goes on and on the free Biden and against the diffuse global tension the decided status and the groundwork for relationship hold on and we should just with the US with a signal and major calculation of the policy and ratio and self as leader security and diplomacy solves around political military threats permitted down reports from 3. The recent detection of uranium is necessary to ration up into ration up the body and then reduce it nuclear on Iraq and the long nuclear on us. And use the West supporting regime change regarding to the military action also leads strong determine the ability of nuclear weapons necessary for future attack combination increase the proliferation of their synthetic diplomacy nothing serious on us given uranium weapons that is about to make a dash weapons that Iran is making a decision to pursue the European highlights the challenges of discerning transactions around actions increasing conflict. Thus the plan the United States should adopt a no free use policy restricting the first use of nuclear forces against the Islamic Republic of Iran and if he solves realistic and when it's not in the US the threats were called the cause of Iran's program but the US and the threats were in the hand of Iran developing the weapons and possessing diplomatic support for efforts to rush Iran to end its finance US we do not want to refuse policy that the nation of politicians available to the threats will be reduced they would have the ability to strongly claim its faces and exception and if you increase the credibility towards other nations hastings and seven participants and observant absence and if you first use and first use policy directed and indirected by increase credibility against other threats this one and other than left off and there are only 4 possible substances and if you chronic and 23 the US increments and not use it against other states and compliance.
We're going to take some time.
Digital copied sets. Mark that compliance. It's not marked.
Let me mark that. Where?
Compliance and correcting.
Okay.
Compliance, boom. Alright, let's move back. This is too close.
Nah, you don't
You're
like being
always
right
on
next to
yourself. You
We
did
did,
not
that's
draft
fair.
breakout page.
Nah.
It was. Oh wait, when I get the original thing up. Yeah, you can start.
Whoa. Deadly sighting. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Hello.
Good.
Great.
Neff Hickman evidence written by, at the time, a current master's students on, quote, inkstickmedia.com. Title of the article is Decolonizing U.S. Policy Towards Iran. Goes on to say that this is in line with the black radical tradition of W.B. Du Bois. Why should we believe this person?
Well, that's like really persuasive, but they make some really cool points. It's about why Biden should reverse colonial politics. We also have other cards advocating for NFU pledge, saying it would decrease instability and like zero the chance that Iran would ever proliferate.
Okay. Operational changes mandated the plan, question mark?
Declaratory. Declaratory.
Okay. Proliferation at advantage. What is the impact of uranium proliferation?
War.
So it's just Israeli preemptive strikes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if Iran has a verifiable nuke, Israel's gonna be like, wait, holy fucking shit, they have a nuke, let's drop one.
Why is Iran proliferating?
Because
US
of
threats.
years of U.S. threats.
Okay, how does the plan solve the NPT?
The
it
NPT
means
is
that-
based off of a US first strike, that was the first one.
No, I'm not. New question, sorry. How does the plan solve the NPT? Can you like?
Yeah, so if the US drops a nuke on a non-nuclear weapon state, it fractures the NPT. The McDonald evidence is probably one of the best cards ever written, descriptive of how a nuclear bomb being dropped on Iran would fracture every US commitment to the NPT, because it has just said, fuck it, I'm gonna drop a nuke on a country that doesn't have one.
Fracturing, what do you mean by fracturing? Does the treaty go away, do you think?
Well, I mean,
If you're gonna go for NPT bad, you have to
I'm
concede
not.
that the
That'd be-
US
That would be
nukes
incredibly
Iran.
stupid, I'm just asking.
we got some heat. I don't know. Anyway, the McDonald card says that it would lead to other states not believing the credibility of the NPT
Yes.
because the leader of it has just dropped a nuke on a country that doesn't even have one yet, which leads to them
And that-
leaving it
the
and meaning
Mc-
that it's no longer a strong international
Okay.
enforcement agency.
Your card that says the U.S. would nuke Iran from 5 years ago, pardon the like PF style question, but why haven't they yet?
We've
I
read
mean-
more recent uniqueness evidence about conflict that's happening right now.
Yes,
which we
Also,
think
the Abbassabi and Intisar evidence is in the context of if we were in an actual conventional conflict directly with Iran. We have not engaged in a direct conventional conflict with them yet, which means we have not had an impetus to strike them with a nuke.
Okay. Why are we heading towards conflict with Iran?
Militia groups are striking U.S. troops in the region, the U.S. is responding, Israel's being aggressive. Just 2 days ago, Israel was like, how would I just kill a bunch of Iranian generals? Iran is threatening to strike the U.S. back. War's in. You're not gonna find a ground system.
In fact, it's really good.
Turkey prolif, why do they care about Iran?
They're,
It's a
they're
regional-
neighbors, and
yeah.
if Iran has a nuke, Turkey's probably scared.
Aren't they friends?
No, no.
No, so like what is
Turkey's
like
not
what
a
is
NATO.
But, like, what world
I'm
you live
aware
in?
they're a member of NATO. Like what's their beef? I don't know much clearly.
Jacob, you wanna-
They don't want another country to have a nuke in the Middle East. Like, this isn't like.
Yeah,
Turkey's
so why
like
was-
a NATO
so when
member.
Israel prolifed, they didn't.
Well,
care.
Turkey's a NATO member who's aligned with the United States, so is Israel. Iran is
Turkey aligned
Iran.
with the US.
Turkey's very much aligned with the U.S. Iran is aligned with Russia, which means that like that's scary.
Okay. We don't. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, we have 9:20.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. What do you want me to get?
Cody
Okay, I'll get that.
and this one.
actual acquisition rate.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
As like halfway through Canaan.
Yeah.
Or Croneg.
Yeah.
The paper version has more cards after Croneg.
Yeah, I took that card out.
Use them here.
It's in a Dropbox. Just explicitly.
I'll get to it whenever we read off, not paper.
What are those codes? That's gonna be drawn.
Yeah. No. Basket from this machine. Well, no, he doesn't need a credit card, right? Save me in round two, but I will also do. Or should we just grab from two? Credit. Credit. Let me see. Let's see.
Well, but like does that
Yes.
deficit mean is that never an offense? What, not asking if we need it to be, I'm asking is that never an offensive.
Done.
Yes.
655.
Did you say 655?
Yep.
Thank you.
And you all are, yep, recording.
Cool.
The order is 5, advantage 1, advantage 2.
What are the names of those advantages?
The first one had a name and then the second one was prologue.
First one is called War. It's very big.
So advantage 1 is war.
Oh yeah.
It's very descriptive.
Really?
That's what I thought you said, and I was like,
Yeah,
no
no,
way.
no,
that
was
advantage
intentional,
one
yeah.
is War. Yeah.
Fair enough.
In high school, whenever I broke into the TOC, it was like just advantage 1 is new, advantage 2 is new, and then we told them the names of the advantages during 1C prep.
Before in Elam, when I was coaching high schoolers last year, I stripped a wiki out or half off the wiki, retagged every card to like 2 words.
Can we move this table to not be?
Very subtle way of saying you qualified for the POC.
Probably my greatest,
Brag.
my greatest
Yeah.
accomplishment, TBH.
Wasn't at any tournament that he did it. It was at the POC.
Yeah.
When he broke.
Yeah.
Oh, you broke at the
No,
POC?
I broke new.
Oh, okay.
Aiden
So
Barton,
did you not break
Barton's
the
my
TOC?
peer, no.
Dog.
You know who ended my TSC round senior year? Tyler
Tyler
Virgo.
Virgo.
Judging.
I actually had Tyler Virgo's high school career.
Yeah, I had Barton.
Love the connections.
Tyler was allowed to judge you at the time? Or I guess you hadn't.
I wasn't
yet.
committed.
Yeah.
You know,
I was actually going to go to Georgetown.
I don't pretty sad.
So it's not.
Most
The
of the
one
campus
bit.
sucks.
Yeah, we dropped everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was really sad. It was actually like a pitiful way to go out.
Yeah, you guys peaked pretty early.
We totally did. It was insane.
Here, where is this one?
Oh, you're a
Was it-
doc. You're a
Oh,
doc.
I didn't send it. Sorry.
You're a doc guy, man. Come on.
The printer's still right.
Get off the docs. Come on.
I actually sent it to print and
Today, when you just got
Michael Wimsat once did like pulled out a printer during
cucumber salad
when he's
and
about
had
6
an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
That's what debate is good, man. This is what it's all about. This is what I stick around for. Moments like these. Like it's 6:19 on a Friday. Where else would I rather be? Thousand Island. Thousand Island dressing, which was not what I was expecting.
That's bold. Are you a fan?
Is it cool? I think it's,
I like a Thousand Island on a Reuben, not on a salad.
That's a really valid.
I'm good.
yeah.
I just got it on
I
the
like
list.
it.
15 websites that defines policy as a definite additional for the subject to determine future decisions and play recording systems that they must apply to general request rather than one of many definitions suggested with application that the school board of public common understanding meaning violations. The plan may retain the right to use against for some contingencies. This is some for first use, not no first use for one limits on line substance allows for swinging on nuclear and individual contingency for targeting policy change to targeting loss CBDOs or essential mental threats in any subset country. 2 is ground subset if you policy will leave most of the nuclear on the table. This eliminates core negative different sizes conventional and if you battery resolution 16 with you push for full light if you further trying to continue with reassert some degree of nuclear decision not actually fundamental position and if you would be a real and if you put in objectives something overall most of the conditions however do not run into those issues and if you is available next off is the advantage capital in the United States publicly credibly extend formal security guarantees including nuclear the umbrella to the Gulf states on the condition that they do not proliferate and fully comply with this obligation of their joint comprehensive plan of action. The first plan solves normally strong raising instability spatial and 13 U.S. should offer overseas the network security guarantees of an attack on Iran would be considered an attack on the U.S. former assurance is codified and would be permanent unmistakable return to alliance raised additions of its condition Iran declares security guarantee extended nuclear level of operate and series of commitments that would hurt to resist the likeliest outcome would be insurance policy against war. Next off is the sole purpose counterplan the United States should adopt a policy declaring that the sole purpose of nuclear arsenals to retaliate against a nuclear attack of the United States or its allies limited and few exacerbates crisis disability on Olmia Diads and Gremlin 17 demands for promise and nukes. We'll see company symbols in action in several China and India have they issued a full NFUs on draw transition scenarios on my mirror nukes would force public attention on the scenarios in general and welcome to its accepted draw transition nuclear states on the lie on guarantees that nuclear state would diplomatically signal to it to reduce assailants and moving towards the sole purpose yet it implies that the third they accept and rights and norms and therefore progressively weaken norms of form threatening states and specifically Iran and North Korea they perceive a direct threat being left off the list Hastings in 7 countries. I think it possibly that the U.S. argument back NFU denominations were more than nevertheless participants still interpreted the absent NFU to mean first use NFU is only attainable in during considerably used threats and works since Iran and North Korea since they have pointedly been left out of the NFU list. Nuclear threats to North Korea collapse crisis and nuclear war came in when the 23 president is important to deterrence and increase nuclear war is needed to not to raise necessary fear of misperception or miscalculation necessary to purpose and prohibit the sex unnecessary for North Korea otherwise minor conventional conflict would quickly escalate nuclear war. Washington when he restrained Biden's renounced the threat first against Iran he didn't release it or I'm not even going to read that. The next off is DipCap. U.S. diplomatic agent will Rwanda Congo war now sustained because keto with escalation being 23rd top official representative proposal to resolve it in the Congo and force it the use of plan active one competition by voluntary return and the conflict of weekend all war Washington daily engagement highlights the serious in which Washington views the lifetime of conflict into other states apart African and rights effort to counter China and the critical minerals Washington is using diplomacy to push as a full obligation the United States and tension and diplomatic trends and de-escalate world war avoid interesting conflict with the both sides of the West China escalation by was worried about the conflict Congo Rwanda and Ari for Zelensky to agree to the terms of plan destroys limited political and diplomatic resources 4013 nuclear NFUs ordered measure arms control has not opposed leader top so much energy political capital they may invest in pursuit of policy and seeking arms control necessary means by one doesn't work hard the other initiative more important than these attention would be advisors to spending finite resources and diplomatic capital and other things arms control should be pursued where advantages out by one would feed up with energy on other things but not otherwise regional conflict Congo escalates to see no U.S. proxy war like with nuclear turning in 21 the U.S. and China have historic proxy war included in the Congo versus Syria competition and industry means that Beijing may include receiving your company is regular war working indirectly off against senior use proxy war below normal policies involve diplomacy propaganda cyber and weaponize interdependence U.S. By aid rebel groups in China may support the regime it could pockets of war escalate growth in China spark the 60-day struggle and then the civil strife inflicted terrible U.S. proxy war intensify the stress war in unexpected ways and foreign back in quarterly with time to difference in military specifically the war comments will begin by proxy war and level this dangerous situation and one patron intervene directly and powerful driving the aversion into losing a U.S. Chinese proxy war if either faces be the patrolman and decrease support and ignorance and non-support escalation uncertainty encourage our rebels to escalate the worst case thing and misreceive the order after use Chinese parts of war to be deep energy conflict and if future war will be the China and America's likely parts of war to stand in danger parts of war probably into larger conflict. Next off is the hypersonics decide the U.S. actually go to advantage 1. No taboo impact North shape nuclear planning security just to handle 21 rule table make one level tab is an element of play rather than strategy tends to take a vaccine to practical as our minimum the rule taboo since it goes right they determine it to have no influence on government policy box to pursue that large ICBM program institutional relation. One more important than taboo for deterrence 2 all causes for boost over acquisition of use many of the evidence that taboo has a positive effect on restraining out that causes use B the nuclear area no matter already disregard international stigma the nuclear and next off is the nuclear energy turn on the global energy diversification happening now because the weak NPT starting collapses access via non-proliferation crackdown will go to 23 advanced nuclear reactors have hindered Shaikh and carbon Russian targets as reduced to phase out between existential and nuke versus climate and non-proliferation countries are that will be provide opportunity and include conflict with U.S. policy to minimize weapon usage materials and simple process example non-proliferation carbon reduction clashing and reprocessing spec fuel for reuse in next-gen reactors and non-proliferation carbon reduction using advanced technology are increasingly conflict or lurching with the words we're following against the U.S. dominated world including nuclear use issues for the realities for need to clean energy with the non-proliferation of the beacon nation will follow the power of sufficient diminish Russia and China and export advanced reactors will their support to reprocess the stage of reactor transfer to countries that were use in as the counter. No, there needs to be much more engagement. Only deploying nuclear reactors heck adverse existential climate change map 22 nuclear has a great potential to target the amount of emission compatible with the power of nuclear. There might be possible climate change. There will be nuclear will be deployed large scale. Nuclear can directly replace fossil fuel plants and would be imperative for achieving low carbon fuel and the place for continuous stable energy so lower will require backup and in future advanced technology can meet the base and operate flexibility to accommodate renewables sources can have continuous innovation change tremendous solar wind nuclear power may meet fluctuations and provide stability in the smart grids use AI and the IoT to automate nuclear combined with smart grids help to ensure sustainable energy faster to reactors utilize uranium time more efficiently. However, FBRs require fuel of very rich fissile materials, sodium, cool technology, and attain maturity. Fast reactors are poised becoming extremely fast reactor can take an extended nuclear power for thousands of years. Warming is one of the most typical issues today. The one that we reduce emissions of nuclear FBRs represent technologically beyond WCRs and are the future of green technology. Competitions that requires extension of nuclear energy. No U.S. uranium escalation goes to escalation first. Georgia at all 24 uranium is eager to show up the U.S. will worry for working competition in the U.S. Hezbollah to pursuing the U.S. blood strikes and to our publicly warned but imperative urging cautioning message having effect in Rwanda had attacked the U.S. forces in 13 Biden has taken a cautious person down after Iran Hezbollah suspending attacks on U.S. targets. Declaration is not critical even with operational adjustments. Orbits in 21 benefits would be to use one of the changes structure of nuclear forces shift is only the Biden will merely adopt a declaratory change and the U.S. signal has given a key military option even if you get by civilians Washington will still face a first strike by SLB missile defense as CB's adversaries are for worst case. Washington will have a really good on nuclear Russia and China regard with the U.S. being trustworthy. The prolific advantage
Don't say that. Just say that. Trust me.
Turkey has zero responsibility for nukes decisions. Irrelevant West protection. Alkins in 23 no evidence indicates that Turkey nuclear weapons have capability. IAS completely holistic examination and the entire British country. The countries that can return norms and standards and recent instruction having political motivation rather than the facts from IAEA. This protecting amendments of U.S. analysts will protect their own license even though it's amendment performance and maybe a capability and easier taxes to assist on its materials like Turkey lacks infrastructure for uranium mining and enrichment fabrication of ownership of power plants remains in hands. A versatile takes spent fuel having leaving no possibility to ever Turkey's plans are restrained. Concede Iran proliferation now, and if you can't solve distrust from negotiations, mutual distrust is irreversibly baked in the U.S. and Iran relation to Deckers in 23-24 election disinforming voice that made it difficult to really govern Tehran losses in the U.S. after Trump GCPOA and Biden's to push back hostage and swap agreement of sharpest fertility political economic pressure as a result of Iran support for Hamas will increase likelihood of countries finding nuclear program makers attention may push Iran towards enrichment of public relationship and is a reversible degree and to understand surprisingly be if it moves toward abandon in the presence of U.S. terrible news. The hypersonics have U.S. engagement or the U.S. has proven that consequent hypersonic nuclear reductions create a capability gap until we build hypersonic causes extinction. Russell all in 21 should the U.S. declare an parallels on nuclear hypersonics and reactors unpredictable as it's been executed within conventional attack and women is a replicable goal of first scenario as a rule of nuclear is reduced to security strategy. Now nuclear elements will take a greater burden start tested by replacing nukes with conventional might reduce the prevalence of nuclear posture. This turning on nuclear series called in the highest levels and not intent to use nukes first. Russell is marked at intent to use nukes first.
Okay, you did. Okay, I want to start on the dip cap this ad. So like the planned diplomats are like Middle Eastern diplomats specific on like nuclear policy. Why do they come from Rwanda?
What?
The planned diplomats are like nuclear specific diplomats focused on the Middle East. Why do they come from Rwanda?
Well, the argument is that they need to do and engage in negotiations with Russia and China and to prevent.
Why do they need to engage with Russia and China?
Spillover, no compartmentalization.
Just like that's just like false. Like we have thousands of diplomats all focused on different things. The plans are Middle Eastern diplomats focused on nuclear policy.
There are multiple aspects to the nuclear doctrine that require the diplomats to be involved in multiple scenarios and like multiple things.
Okay, I like Tarzan, that's fine. I guess Interlink impact scenario, there's been like decades of instability in Africa. Why does this one specifically escalate?
We read evidence from, I'm pretty sure it's from like December, or like, it's pretty recent evidence that talks about how the conflict is escalating and how flashpoints in Africa are more likely to escalate. Russia in particular has been using like Ukraine as leverage to continue to spread his influence in Africa.
Also, China gets involved.
China also gets involved, but like,
Okay, that's fine. Status?
conditional.
Was there any reason to strike the team? I don't think so, right?
No?
Okay, cool.
Oh, you
The
said T.
okay, T, that's fine. Okay. The sole purpose counterplan, what is the distinction between that and the AFF?
The way in which we would answer hypothetical escalation scenarios would be different, which means that we don't have conversations about
How do
use-
you answer them differently?
Well, so the AFF would require that we answer questions about use scenarios. The response that is different from the African counterplan is that the counterplan would talk about why the United States possesses nuclear weapons in the first place.
Okay, do we still respond to I get we talk differently, do we respond to crises differently, like materially?
What do you
Like, can we first use what happens in incidents? I know we talk differently, but like materially, is there any difference?
It's a declaration thing, so like no, I
So
guess.
like declaratory, like we will not ever
It
use
results in
first.
the same operational changes that the AFF would result in, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, and we do not use first against any country, not just Iran, correct?
I guess, sure.
Cool. I want to ask about like the taboo nuclear energy turn. The plan has said that if the U.S. were to use a nuke against Iran, that would be bad for the taboo. Never did we say we strengthen the taboo. The Lugongo evidence is like the taboo good right now because of nuclear energy. If it were stronger, it would be bad. What's the link?
It's about the NPT.
Well, like the plan does not make the NPT stronger. It just stops it
Okay,
from collapsing.
You
So, like,
said
if-
it collapses in the squirrel.
If the U.S. nukes a non-nuclear weapon state, and then like a bunch of countries
Your-
are scared of that,
your
why would they
unique-
put uranium into like power and not their own proliferation?
Your uniqueness argument in the 1AC was about the
well, our
NPT
unique statement
collapsing.
is that we will first strike a country, which will cause it to
No,
collapse.
those are two different claims. Your uniqueness claim about the NPT is that it's going to collapse right now, which is
No.
what the turn is about.
That's not what
So
it
is
is.
Iran good? Like,
Okay, it was sent. Can I have this thing?
yeah. There you go.
Order, if I pull up the doc, is war, prolif, T, advantage counterplan, sole purpose counterplan, diff cap, conventional shift.
I wasn't listening to you.
Jeez.
I don't even have
A speech
Sorry, that was so fast. I'm sorry. I chugged a Red Bull right before this debate, so I'm a little hyper. The war advantage.
Sorry, I'm also not ready.
Okay.
I wasn't
I
just
said-
kidding about that.
The war advantage, the prolif advantage, T, advantage counterplan, sole purpose, Congo initial shift.
Sorry, I need it again.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Call
War.
both of the dissides war dissides.
The war advantage, prolif advantage, T, advantage counterplan, sole purpose, Congo conventional shift.
Ooh. Okay. You're on top of your thing.
Good timer.
Yeah.
Cool. Does everyone have it?
I'm not ready yet.
Okay, so.
Brother.
He started it. Oh, we will
That's disgraceful.
Jenny, are you good now? Cool. Okay. No taboo impact doesn't assume a U.S. first strike. If the other one with the U.S. first strike, there's no impetus to restrict development of nuclear weapons. Yes, impact self-directed conflict, which restrains nuclear proliferation development, hot behavior, that's Kapoor. Then all causes stuff, no. Collapse causes spiral of development. Says that if one of the U.S. first strike and nuclear non-nuclear weapons states that not other non-nuclear states have no reason to believe the U.S. is commitment to them. B, the evidence doesn't assume it be there's no impetus to restrain, which overwhelms the NPT bastard. It's fucking bullshit. Process was embarrassing for them. They kind of win. We've not made a union scheme that's collapsing now, but rather that the U.S. fucking struck a wrong with a nuke that they would destroy the non-proliferation agreement. Second, requires the U.S. to a nuke, which first proliferate broadly. There's no power development no matter what. I impacted a bunch of countries. They're going to develop nuclear power now. They're probably going to transition to developing nuclear weapons as a result of the U.S. striking the Iran because they think that they have to proliferate, which is the McDonald evidence. Second, no. Carver, unique circuit board strengthens it. Third, nuclear power is inevitable. It's growing. Wayne, 20 momentum for nuclear power. Strong visual comment and intensifies on nuclear recognition. Power like damage zero. These nuclear weapons that energy is government out of supporting nuclear build. Let's go by 4. The goal of demand is surge. Clever. 20 to continue attack on the climate change. Like injury because the nuclear again is like tropical. Nuclear people have the duration of create NEG issues on the reactors of the world. Changes nuclear has happened quite quickly, yes, impacting BT solves a bunch of essential respirating the printing proliferation, target focus towards a myriad of threats of climate, economic collapse and pandemics, the collapse ensures nuclear war, that's good errors, no US war, yes, Iran, they're sleepwalking into it, militias are striking the US is striking back, Israel striking Iran, etc. Cause the sleepwalking into war unique now, they're going to retaliate, Kickmeyer, 4-3, short after, they're striking to the US, has nothing to do, they're not be enough for the US avoid retaliating, the US would be able to avoid the regional conflict, now Iran's government, hold the US accountable for the fire attack forces in Syria, Iraq, or frequent, targets, yes, impact US Iran nuclear war kills billions, spreads globally, drops in Russia. China never has destroying global winter. That's McDonald. Yes, the F is credible. One, Iran believes the call. This is the best part of the basis that the capability is restraints and in the Middle East means that Iran believes it because if you think the U.S. could not deploy anything but a strategic weapon, second results in conventional counterforce and countering before allies like Israel and Saudi signals the shift to Iran that the U.S. is not committing to it now. The pearl advantage. Turkey won't pearl it. Yes, they will. First, infrastructure they have the ability to refine uranium to weapons grade B. They have a desire which overwhelms the capability means that they'll transition all the nuclear power and nuclear energy to it, which is when you see evidence. Yes, and the yes impact nuclear causes extinction, at least from arms. We got it for strikes and lowering. The threshold for use and short nukes are on. Use that's the clue to evidence. The NFU doesn't solve pearl step 1. Yes, call says it does. It solves the threats, which is the internal link. I affect the U.S. cannot threaten Iran. Second, doesn't say the U.S. or NFU in the car between the July 3rd fiat is binding, which means it resolves the Trump warrant of a Trump reversal. 2 drop impacts. First, Iran war cuts World War 3. U.S. and Russia draw ensures it. The spreads globally locking in Armageddon. That's her Saudi proliferation cascade locking in global arms race first. And then the first strike that escalates as extremist violence that's bound in T. We need playtest and vacuum board position on this most arbitrary standard counter-interpretation has to be by multilateral geographic but not contingent element. The 72 no first she said, Michael Bigger of our government starting unilateral engagement of general specific and geographic reason. Policies plan for the future of command. 99 identifies the word of policy on the course of action, the guide for future decision and blame every single goal, general goals of the governmental body. Preferred first education, 2 internal links. A, innovation, years worth of 4, F, produces stale debates, encourages topic frame research and same transformation. B, precision, R, evidence the first use based discussion in NFU is made to be precise. There's an advocacy defining how they would do an NFU. Second, functional over limiting picks or unbeatable advantages of finance generics or power turns the after was sitting down. 3, we self limits because country specific and Vegas guaranteed deterrence. Assurance modernization, there are only 4 new apps that under interpretation, all of which are predictable nuclear states. China, Russia, North Korea, Iran. Finching 180 coordinate. 23 complex, not publicly committed on the nuclear space on the table for Russia, China, and about these only country mentioned the anti-barrel, the 2000 are joining a few pledges from the US. Reasonably solves good is good enough if they could debate that risk of negative T, the counterfeit. Perm do both. Perm do the counterclaim, Perm do the AFF, and all non-mutually exclusive planks. Cancel the AFF first war, drop the US and Iran. Inevitably headed towards conflict, only restricting first use. Nukes can stop the war from escalating. That's Smith and Afrasiabi, both inserted for reference. Second, and that matters even if neither side wants to go to war or the diplomatic measures in the region. They'll inevitably be drawn in due to factors out of their control, meaning restricting. First use is the only solving mechanism. That's first inserted for reference. Second, pro diplomacy is impossible when threats of use are still on the table because Iran feels an essential need to proliferate. That's Davenport Sagan inserted for reference. The DoD will continue to threaten the Iran USIP. 21 other divided the US Iran to oxide on the Iran activity as much as slowly making it Junior said Iran won't engage unless war is off the table. They already reneged on talks because of that. The card above on the unique set means that Iran is already trying to threaten the US, which means they will not get back on the table absent a war where the US tries to get in the threat of war, conditionalities, voting issues, strategy, and argument of responsibility. This both solves our offense, which are just case splits. The 2 are ruins death and negative decision making, no kicking planks, multiple number of condo and links to our offense, new assets, and justifiably. They have abused, if they're abused today, should lose the sole purpose, counterplan, perm, do both, and can adopt a new no first street policy, declare full purpose. The act is not the entire bill, rather it's just the constraint on the employment of nuclear weapons that would be followed up by declaration. Perm, do the counterplan, and the counterplan is the example. The act is restricts the first use of the US as nuclear weapons means it's not functionally credited not. Responding to threats is the equivalent of NFU Kanowski. Next, restricting the works of the question of whether this would be a declaration policy restricting the role. Responding to the offensive chemical factor equivalent of no first use policy preferred. Anything else legitimizes the secret counterplan, negative state action counterplan, declaratory picks that seal the only intrinsic act advantage or impossible to make kills fairness and clash, can't solve the act, solvency competition, double bind under the counterplan. 4 squares first use it isn't credit for it's too ambiguous, linked in event still allows US to strike first. 21 and the self purpose of the set of teacher with an arrow and then there's an NFU effectively run that first use however and they may leave enough ambiguity for roading deterrence and unrealistic step both ways. I'm the guide. It's just perfectly different when I say 30 first use find something effective on the board of NFU have a blue find a loophole so give you a lot first use. We find a force sign that been publicly ridiculed. Digital application is policy versus rebel circle will be contrived. That also means it can't solve any of the AFF. Iran will only stop proliferating because retaliation off the table. Carbon exception means it's still viewed as applicable to all sole purpose plus US deliberate first use government. 20 sole purpose still 30 to saying engaging that deliberate first strike and the language limitation consists of sole purpose you have incentive to retain. The large nuclear arsenal cut against energy deterrence. Solving the deficit also eliminates net benefits. Perceived as limiting first use in the counterplans. Equally uncredible indefinite line. 14 direction of sole purpose especially in the building to reduce on the mission and compensate that by like the use of the whole purpose of the same purpose made no first use sound incredible in the way to nuclear state actually by the pledge. The first use posture towards North Korea is the only way to stop them from launching nuclear first strike biological weapons minute. 21 against Iran. The community thoughts on that and nuclear factor by nuclear capability plenty of NDT we could use nukes and even Russian and later we need to be real through all thought out and now execute was after hard enough so that when they were too capable weapon they can counter with only these ones destroying all of them were fired in the nukes. Some of these unless you were going to have nuclear against any form of weapon mass turn over not turn and bio you up and use of US nukes need to be without be reduced given the risk of difference against North Korea. That causes global war, Kelly. They are the card for us. Bio weapons cause extinction or 20 hours missing and control pathogens resisting that passing years missing directly to the polypox or surgeon is making sure that it was even more to taking that after the accessibility lethality or resistance to treatment. Nor credible homicide weapon or do extra organ or returns maintained their extra risk seems as simple antagonists used by states violent for the future of human life on the earth and serious terror of the Congo disad. The link is one, illogical, the Congo but some fly to the Middle East to reassure Iran those goals are mutually exclusive involved different State Department sections. Second, dip cap is not finite and winners win, right? 15 to be able to accumulate the dip cap, now your box up have a bit bigger to use summit to solve different problems in the future. Third, negotiations. The US doesn't have to reassure allies. If Congo's TO8 and the plan happens, Biden continues working on it for anyone affected. About a plan, Ukraine thumbs, dip cap already spent, KU is blue, Tracy Bianco. 23 leaders signed up for the US plan to continue to pull back forces by Jan 1 when it comes to Ukraine and the United States doing that, only comes to Rwanda and the actively they'll be water recruiters acting up to the insane major reaction of the United States. They've been unfair to Congolese people. Attorney is empirical, not predictive. The US, China have had proxy wars, and one that was Congo, that one. This one will be one proxy war, bounce back. Whatever diplomacy the plan needs, it can fly to the Middle East and back to Africa in a week. Too late, thresholds cross after news. 25 United States over Rwanda, Congo, the attack on the living war, isolation take place in Hopkins, the whole by the Congo, Rwanda. The future Rwanda, they fighting governments to fight a president cost of one anti-aircraft empirically denied decades of war in Africa, Sudan, Rwanda, Congo, Kenya, Ethiopia, etc. Right near constant antibody, no extinction. The conventional shift is that the AFF is a straight turn to this conventional war with Iran is inevitable absent a shift. And U.S. posture towards the Middle East only to ask all Brits to reverse the course Middle East policy pursuing diplomacy over courage, and the Hastings evidence said that this is applicable to everyone else. No other country will engage in venturism or war or react to the U.S. posture because of because they think that it being accepted or excluded from the NFU would be as increasing the threat of first use nuclear war outweighs cost extinction and spirals. It makes it impossible, which means that a conventional war cannot escalate. If the U.S. is not the one to first strike, plan wouldn't cause the individual shift. The U.S. leads weapons to counter Russia and China, no link. Bilateral NFU is political. The U.S. leads retained its army first strike capability captured out. 21 U.S. candidates on which strike nuclear capability this that cases if you would have political and military stance, and if you wouldn't have conventional arms race city, 18 if you would less than your attention to line, the U.S. retained that security of the Dartmouth arsenal, so the end, keep the weapons of decision that fades. Virtually, they don't have conventional arms, and like the resulting cooperative interstate relations, that's part of the conventional modernization society. Time to be fair, they're encouraged by conventional arms control. No hypersonic shift, Weinberger. 23 U.S. adversary it did fail to cancel the paying off programs around from the failed test, and they're going to show the lack of plan on the U.S. defense system, expecting the inter-service and Indian progress. Mid-whole time on works in Northwest, and development causes an issue. There is no plan for deciding how to feel how, and the one is the lack of infrastructure connecting facility will be ready until 27. Who weapon was learned it out after the test was canceled. Another was canceled this month. The Air Force makes its own advanced program. Raytheon's missile isn't ready until 27. Hypersonics have no distinct capabilities. Tracy, 20 hypersonics took up their to drive forces on the ballistic missile line to outer space. Hypersonics lose their speed throughout flight, taking longer to talk. And ballistic missile hypersonics reach 1,000 degrees upstream overheating around the heating preferences on the list performance is constrained geometry. This rendered hypersonic vulnerable to detection. The fighters will remain visible to existing sensors the entire flight drag. And heating the hypersonic will have few advantage existing missiles could easily overcome. This defensive system by firing more missiles or using decoys. Their authors exaggerate the threat. Tracy 21 F1 analysis. I'm trying to show that the forms are going to form the acquisition missiles for the interest of the managed professional broad coalitions.
You're good for cross?
Yep.
First question, what is your model of competition if the negative is not able to compete off of the declaratory policy of the AFF?
We don't think you should get declaratory picks. We think that
Why not?
counterplans that restrict the first use employment of nuclear weapons are not competitive because it takes the only core advantage of the AFF, which is the U.S. first strike.
One of the largest debates regarding nuclear first use policy or like NFU policy is literally like the words that we say out loud. Why is that not good negative ground?
Well,
why are you not prepared to debate that?
Well,
first of all,
it's the question is like what if the AFF does not get the unique ability to say the U.S. will not first strike X nation, makes it impossible to generate any advantage because it's all reliant on that. Like the counterplan solves the entirety of, is able to solve the entirety of the AFF. If it's literally just change the slight wording of what we declare, but still do the exact same thing. Those are illegitimate, and there's no deficit to these minor distinctions, especially the massive possibility of other counterplans that could exist, declaring other random things, etc.
what are those other counterplans?
I don't know, the argument we made is that like other declarations, so like or secret counterplan, for example, are things legitimized by your counterplan that pick out of declarations.
Why? Wait, what?
If you say the counterplans compete by changing what the declaration is, you can also say that there's not a declaration, which results in the secret counterplan, which is like the worst fucking thing to exist, and we shouldn't.
Okay. I guess what is sorry, I missed a series of permutations that you made on top of sole purpose. Do both?
It was just do both and do the counterplan.
Just those two?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think the declaratory policy looks like under do both?
Do both, we describe it as the U.S. restricts the first use of nuclear weapons, but declares the sole purpose policy. The plan is not the entire bill, but rather just
Okay.
the
What do you
restriction
think
on the employment
Sure.
of nuclear
What do you think the
weapons.
implication of this North Korea thing is on counterplan?
You said that the sole purpose counterplan solves North Korean threats. We should terminate.
So you said we should.
Yes, you have taken the Hastings card and said that the AFF increases first use threats towards North Korea. We have said first use threats towards North Korea are good because it caps the North Korean bioweapon usage.
Okay.
Also, like nuclear usage, you have.
Yeah, but you have to term all this.
Okay. Okay. The McMahon card on the top Cality page, trying to make sure, what do you think the implication of this is? Just like a T argument?
It's just literally just another interpretation. It's just saying that policies
So
don't
no
teach it.
implication for like counterplan competition?
We're not going to make it a competition.
Okay.
We're not going to say the app isn't a mediator or anything. We're just defining the policies does not mean a general cause.
Okay, that's fine. We have, I forgot.
658.5. Are we gonna go for motions?
I want you to so we don't have to do one. We have two
That seems easier, actually. What was that put out?
It was for the winters, so each is
It was just conditionality?
Yep, just content.
It's good. Go ahead, man. I live in K, Palm City. He's got Lily Bricker, John the Jew. Good.
I could do it. I might just go to another debate and use theirs. I couldn't do it.
That would be more awkward.
No,
That would be
usually
hilarious if you
I
just
feel like
walked
it's less
into a
awkward
debate.
because I just walk in, I use it, and then I leave. I don't have to like look the people in the eye for like the next hour.
Now imagine you're just in the middle of your 2MC, you walk into the bathroom, start pissing, and walk out. Like, I think it would be an auto L. Like, I don't think I could recover from that.
Let's see what I'm finishing hereby.
Lobby.
There's one of that.
Not an idiot.
I feel like if we did it to an Emory team, I think it'd be really, really funny.
Yeah.
That's like some sabotage though. You gotta hit like the Michigan Dartmouth thing.
Yeah, it's just good at this game. So this is clearly where I'm going.
Which room, if you want me asking?
That's private. It's a
Okay.
very private decision.
I feel like we'll know this by like the end of the day, but
That's just, you're just like walking in and starting hissing, like.
trip on condo is dispo credit.
Yo.
Okay.
Oh, you're still right.
321. The order will be the advantage counter plan, the proliferation advantage, the war advantage.
Can I get that one more time?
Advantage counter plan, proliferation advantage, war advantage.
Got it. Cool.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I'm sorry. Distance. You would stay. Okay, everybody good?
Yeah.
Kick the planks about the nuclear deal, only going for the Middle Eastern umbrella arguments. Permutation do both. One, doesn't solve. Cardinal umbrella is key. It's symbolic. Value new agreement would be lost if the U.S. immediately played by doing the plan. Ultimate, that's what you have the biggest problem. The first parts of the commitment narrative, the violence you can do in the Middle East Center. And earlier, so let's turning the hedge, trying to benefit this for Israeli study. So, serious strategic to have this rest all discussed by the U.S. man in the Middle East. Two, codification solves credit immediately, invalidating what the plan derails it. Stoppage by their hinge. So, West Saudi wants to start creating to be formally U.S. and less reliable and effective strategies. Really believe they can regain confidence by obtaining legal guarantee. Three, particularly for evidence compares the prospective Saudi pact to South Korea, and obviously the existence of a foreign pact does not put all proliferation conversations to rest. For the credibility of the umbrella is key to dissuade Perlov Kazansky. 11, remains technical readiness to defense having the rails under understanding U.S. and the most effective protective should develop Saudi lending officers position conclude this restriction outweigh the cost. Do the counter plan severs and a few accommodations is the same as do both because we're only going for one plank. Now it does not have to solve escalation. We will win if that does not occur, but it does solve proliferation, specifically in Saudi Arabia. One, foreign minister statements prove a defense pact quashes nuclear ambitions to in 23 foreign minister said of the U.S. would do a defense pact to reassure Gulf nations ordinary nuclear ambitions unnecessary reality to mutually security treaty defense pact between Europe, Washington, around satisfied considered by Iranian hostile the United Front be effective checking around defense communities of for de-escalation. For two, foreign security assurances fill in personal security gaps between addiction to security compact with counter from around Washington needs reliable and capable partners. The U.S. needs to provide assurances study represents publish prevent hostile strategy from agreement provides bilateral defense and SE provide means necessary for Saudi Arabia to defend itself by defense and media consultation treating attacking from the studios nuclear relations to study commitment for co-acquisition nuclear nuclear arms. 3, security guarantee stop Saudi proliferation. 9, proliferation development security case for upholding to commitments of acquisition nukes by Saudi Arabia maintaining credibility of U.S. protections are critical to assuring beneficiaries of guarantees of policy deterrence importance to U.S. deter Iran. Maybe the GEC should have taken practice. I think they only answered the planks about the deal. They did not answer the planks providing a security umbrella to other non-Iranian states. It certainly solves Middle Eastern proliferation and will win. And we conceded that Iranian proliferation happens now. And no, coming to the table is irrelevant because it's not a diplomacy argument. We kick those planks. Conditionality is good. 1, Netflix fluency shifts are key to adaptation to 2, tricks and late-breaking debates. Turns fairness outweighs background. They pick the plan, speak first and last. 2, ideological flexibility. They cause risk aversion instead of experimentation. That outweighs is how debate challenges dogmatism is most unique internal link to education. 3, negation theory. The role of the NEG is to disprove the plan, not defend. 1, dissent to counter plan. Do not prove the plan is a good idea to arbitrariness. Fellowship and goalposts. 4, their impacts are inevitable. T, and gateway issues. Kids are inherently conditional. 5, reject the argument of the team. 6, dispo appeals debate allows the GEC to choose the next trap. 4, 7, fuck off. You run a new app on Paint, like Shahir said. That obviously justifies doing what we want. Their thing didn't have a warrant for why. They had proliferation advantage. Yes, we conceded, yes, proliferation, and you dropped a straight term to it. I'm sorry, yes, there's an impact, but you have conceded that Turkey will not proliferate. We didn't say no impact to Turkey proliferation. We said it's impossible, technical barriers, they would never do it because they're too scared that it would give them nukes, but we will concede that Saudi proliferation happens, it causes extinction, it happens in status quo because Iran proliferates, but the plan certainly cannot result in trust or agreement. 1, doesn't work, bind walk back on diplomatic commitments to a hostage conflict, increase U.S.-Iran tensions, best drivers to Iranian hardlines, prevent and agreements in 21 investigations, worse than 2015, Meloche, strength the hardline tensions election, reverse the swing centers, reading the reports, from the political process growing ourselves has been evident in Iran's nuclear versatility agreement. 3. Biden's constrained by Congress, also into an lack of congressional support, GCPOA, absence of Biden's foreign policy address. Biden has yet to put much weight behind nuclear war by personal opposition given to emerges. But multiple choice, Iran will be wherever with the realized president. 4. Sanctions relief is necessary, but won't happen. This was conceded, and what is the evidence of it? In 21 sanctions against difficult weapons, complex processes to the Iranian entities, reached 944 discounting sanctions that all set Biden will have to make biggest revenue sanctions upon activities that are the GCPOA war. Non-nuclear sanctions remain would be of little value. 5. Allied opposition sold it. In 21, opposition from Israel. Saudi Arabia doing expectations to incorporating non-nuclear issues making it critical. Difficulty during regional tensions in maritime and security, return to GCPOA is unlikely to support war. Now, the plan is not credible. Capabilities outweigh statements. Even eliminating ICBMs would not be enough because LCBMs and conventional first strike is still on the table. That is horror. It's their call evidence. I am shocked that they stake the debate on this. It is from 2013. It does not assume the status quo. It does not assume heightened tension. It does not assume Biden. It does not assume nuclear modernization. It is maybe the worst evidence I've ever seen, and that Heckman evidence wasn't extended. And it's too easy, but it's from a master's student who was writing on. We litigated in direct examination. This evidence is terrible. It doesn't say anything different from call. It does not answer our arguments about credibility. They say our evidence is not about the U.S. It clearly is. What the fuck are they talking about? They say fiat. We've said that you fiat a declaratory policy that fails, so this is irrelevant. Empirics proof also in 21 except for the states adopted and Soviet Chinese Indian Soviet have a perfect record of failure. Primary terrorists never believed that China and India have some arsenal weapons to nuclear war. Hence the sovereignty that their vice will defend U.S. officials before build them. 2. That's often to be viewed as a deception campaign leading up to a first strike program or limited serious security that leading the adversary to be considered by diplomatic turbulence rather than being information may be viewed as chief documented susceptible deception campaign designed to pull into false sense of security but actually make things worse. That to believe in a view as part of a deception problem and evidence of first strike. Concede reasonability takes out conditionality. 4. Not credible in crisis time. Every major treaty includes an opt-out clause in crisis states assume it for any declaration clause. So in 21 versus determining entity for less danger the rest of trusting a legal defense that has been now becomes subject to conclusion all defense treaties as the opt-out clause unless states which are if circumstances change and he says things that policy never employ first any state leader fellow with international states the circumstances change barrier to credible and abuse the state standard without presence pledges contain it. I say this plus NFUs unverifiable and unpredictable. Iran would never believe that U.S. NFUs are tricks and identity. But one can believe that Iran would be filled reassured by Western NFU. There are good reasons to eventual superior measures also were not allowed. But we consider that we also do feel well by NFU when much of a shock given amount of misperception and paranoia. Now, no Iran Israel escalation 1 escalation version to size don't want to provoke a full scale response. Lebanon is extremely vulnerable and Israel does not want to draw in Hezbollah who has substantial military power that's ultimate. 2 U.S. leverage dissuades Israel from reckless escalation stuff. And 21 should we believe Tel Aviv is ready to strike Iran because of the nuclear program is likely to push war. You have to strike look long steps the U.S. Israel relations Israel connected to expressed by Israel defense minister opposition had dramatic effect. Washington was demonstrating consequential because of damage to U.S. ties with the U.S. presidents are not taciturn about their Israeli officials nor can Tel Aviv before 2 to ignore demands any violation will instantly usher with Biden. 3 Israel is deterred by geographical barriers. In 19 it's not certain Israel is joined to Israeli public is not hardly enthusiastic on long distance or war with GI complicated Iraq and Lebanon would block as this exposure you can't win with cruise missiles. I don't think there was an answer to this in the 2EC, so you shouldn't let them do it in the 1AR. They also dropped no Turkey prologue, so I'm not going to read new cards. Sorry, the war advantage, no. U.S. Iran is calc 1 restraint, both sides urging caution. Iran is effectively preventing proxies from attacking U.S. forces in the U.S. Refrains from striking inside Taiwan. That's George, far newer than their evidence and far higher quality. 2 geopolitical evidence is from randos with barely master degrees. 2 geopolitical incentives. Escalation would give Israel an excuse to widen the war. George et al. 24 Iran with Hezbollah to try back in our order where the war is shifted up and focused by Israeli Palestinian government against the loss of Israel to the front. Let's not give them the benefit of war whether we can win. Iran again here's the effect of Hezbollah stop short of nuclear war. Malicious referring to the text of the U.S. strike 3 mutual understanding. Both sides statements have explicitly committed to avoiding a wider war. Alliance 20 war officials aggressive and Biden said they did not want to escalate when Iran didn't war on war either. We don't see war to see Iran wanting conflict. Biden was working through response options and Biden has been elected to igniting the broader war. Both sides are de-escalating lower. Their evidence references the killing of U.S. soldiers. This does not cause war. Both sides are de-escalating lower level retaliation. Solves nuclear use pressures. We're trying to list 24 U.S. believe Iran is served as much of a confrontation with the U.S. We're trying to tackle them. American soldiers Iran is concerned person can calibrate the direction of what is striking all that war. Biden is weighing out the striking Iran is unlikely. The U.S. is not seeking direct war. Now, no Iranian first nuclear. Do you think no retaliation for regime survival Lemire in 23 possessing different from using Iran cannot use a nuclear terrorism to try to punch Iran. It's eventually over by Saudi Arabia and the UAE proposes for the Mullah's argument that Iranian leaders came out to most trying to carry out utopia for regime since the revolution starter has subsided. Now the NDT stuff concede that nuclear power is inevitable, concede that it solves warming, which means that there is no impact to NPT climate, but NPT does not solve proliferation given sufficient will to defect 8 and 20. NPT failed to prevent proliferation of Pakistan, Israel, North Korea, and Iraq. NPT were destroyed our developments in North Korea, found discrepancies with fears to qualify, clarify and declared that Iraq was made to abandon by Security Council of Iraq could have gone further instances of ability by EA to detecting activities as additional protocol without ratified by countries concerned Iran. Results that Israel, Pakistan, or voluntary countries as ratifying latency causes ambiguity and circumvents NPT backlash. In 20 other loopholes already increases preventing latency, country can reach while non-satisfying requirements of Iranian EG or genuinely any testing the line is hard to drop between theoretical latency and no attention latency while heading intention to challenge to presents challenge to NDT. They said striking back and U.S. will retaliate. Those were both answered above. Now, taboo impact. The defense above obviously answers it because cross-examination was extremely clear. The only internal link to this is that the U.S. nukes first, which all of the defense above answers, but independently no taboo impact. One, does not affect nuclear planning. Governments historically don't consider norms in planning the practicalities of nuclear posture proven by U.S.-Russian normalization of first use during the Cold War. Two, nebulous impact. There's no scenario for escalation that must identify a country that is escalating now and be causally restrained given a restored taboo. U.S. nuclear adversaries are the ones that would escalate and not care about moral credibility. The only possible answer to this is that this is not assume a first strike. We are making an argument that realism is true. Countries do not care about norms, so it is relevant if the U.S. uses nuclear weapons first because those norms never existed in the first place. Three, Ukraine proves the taboo is carried out with deterrence checks and Lincoln 22 to the taboo witness. Violation with Russian invasion Putin at the forefront of Olympic announcements, spreading towards Olympic announcements and nuclear section. New York, London, Finland, Sweden, taboo and pressure, pretty much longer than the Chinese land, the country magnitude, unlimited, unlimited church, deterrence remains in place. Which is a third war in Ukraine remains regional. It sounds like the U.S. would risk escalation. Oh, I just realized this also all answers the NPT impact because it demonstrates that you cannot set norms about nuclear use. Look, they should have answered a straight turn when they're breaking a new app on PAPE. LOL. I'm not. Yeah. Good.
Okay. You good?
Yeah.
Great. The pro-lip image, this straight turn in quotes, the only offensive card is like the adversary the NFU applies to is reactionary because of how the U.S. does policy. How would Iran strike a nuke at the U.S. because of the NFU?
I have no idea what you're talking about. We have said that the plan restrains the ability to extend a U.S. nuclear umbrella to the Middle East because it says we would never use nuclear weapons against Iran, which triggers Saudi Arabian proliferation.
Okay,
That was
so
dropped.
plan prevents the nuclear umbrella to Saudi. Wait. Back up, sorry.
Okay, one, Iran prolif coming out, it's inevitable, we don't think the plan solves it. Two, we do think that the U.S. nuclear umbrella solves it, but the plan prevents us from having an effective U.S. nuclear umbrella in the Middle East.
Gotcha.
So we see PrEP valuable for these reasons.
Okay, the U.S.-Iran miscalc stuff, all these cards are from February. Don't assume a world where Israel just killed like a bunch of Iranian leaders, and Iran has said that they're going to strike the U.S.
So your ad is from January.
My Evan, the 2AC was from 2 days ago.
Okay, one, it says that even if Israel is being aggressive, Iran is terrified about direct confrontation, so they're still not escalating. Yes, our evidence may not assume that particular strike, but it does assume other strikes that killed large amounts of both Iranians, Israelis, and U.S. soldiers.
Okay,
Assume
strikes. Iran has vowed to, quote, retaliate at the U.S. for allowing Israel to do this.
They're lying. Like,
They're
Iran lies all
lying.
fucking
Your
time.
cards are like mutual understanding they committed to avoiding a war, which is the only reason they
Yes.
wouldn't do it.
In reality,
Okay.
there's a mutual understanding that they're not going to go to war. Yes, publicly they say they will go to war like they have for like 20
No,
years.
your card says they publicly say they won't go to war, but they will. The argument is they will regardless.
Talking about the only steward evidence just says Iran did not want a war either. Biden was working through
Yeah,
response.
Iran doesn't want a war. This assumes pre-Israel striking Iran.
We discussed this already. Like, obviously, we have not. It does not take into account a particular strike. It does say broadly casualties, U.S. casualties, Israeli casualties, Iranian casualties, empirically never escalate. Your Psalms evidence is from 2013, which would demonstrate that this is a long-term crisis, and we are reading structural evidence about the diet.
That makes sense. We'll take the last 50 seconds to spread.
How's all that? Good. Good. You told me where you were with mine. What are your go-to spots? Fair.
Yeah. So that one,
Good.
the 2 through 4 most
Prudent. Yeah, financially speaking, that's a good decision. Sorry.
We're in second chart, right?
Yeah.
But I will ask.
Yeah. Oh, we're good.
And if you say no, then
9:30.
Because like I might just be like, I might just do law school instead. But this is the most important year. I think it's super easy after this year, so I'm so done predicting this year.
keep it. I would frame it in front of you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
gonna do that.
You should put it in your yearbook.
I should put in my.
The page that says the advantage is war. Okay. I don't have it yet, sorry. I think the hotel Wi-Fi is bugged. I just got it.
How's it going?
I just saw you.
Wait, there's someone back there? What?
Hold on.
Sorry.
No way.
How long have you been secretly hiding? Has it been the whole debate?
No, just since like the end of this last process.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. I was really concerned with the whole debate.
Very stealthy.
Okay.
Alright, Kansas, you know.
Okay. We're all good.
Mm-hmm.
Dip cap will continue to leap defense and the impact defense. We're not going for the descent. The hypersonic shift has had no impact. Will continue no impact. Hypersonic signal link. We're not going for the further descent either. So pull for purpose counterplan the DA always valid on if you to whatever country specifies them. So global signal that earlier U.S. adversary if you're New York for 6 because we're simply given an if to one adversarial state that causes nuclear war with North Korea and Iran draws it. After nuclear power, including Russia and China, causes nuclear war to collapse as a global agonized civilization turns the case while China gets thrown into every conflict between the United States and Iran, which goes nuclear without savory. Even the perception of U.S. preemption draws China and rolls back the plan because the U.S. will declare the Chinese war for North Korea constitutes first used formally in 19 it appears. That's a great peninsula sparkle conflict between the United States and America and America like the ignite over between China and the United States. China would in turn to become the U.S. With all the mergers to DPRK, the DPRK was when the U.S. may declare that any use and Agora was in the accident implicating both partners and requiring retaliation used against both two relations and cooperation. The U.S.-Iran war decimates U.S. operator boosts China's leadership. They'll see the United States as her terminal decline, have no incentive to make deals that moderate competition. I'll set the frame here. Here's how you view the permutation. Declaratory picks are good. Ground 1-0 linked to their offensive declaratory pick against a declaratory act. Now does none of the plan solve limits of predictability. It's the one action that every act must commit to taking if they don't have a defensive. If they fail to prepare for the fucking NDT, it's key to next flex day. There's a woman because the nuclears are high in the steps because it is unsustainable. We need declaratory counterparts back in the gate. 3 it's educational ground and literature for wordings final and deep in the debate cost and defining and differentiating if the sole purpose of declaratory policy and nuclear subjects most security since words definitions have outside the influence on the policy that restricts allies and parts taking the future to nuclear control their policy shifts and influence posture to preparing conventional strategies to develop incentives and hosts a government function and multiple audits have a number of competing interests and policymakers and negation theory. If we prove guilty, it's legitimate alternate any interpretation. Shield the act from testing. Hard debate is good. You should be prepared to debate the NET. The permutation do both one and links more declares a sole purpose for the whole world and also declares an NFU for only targeted countries. They commit to Iran and North Korea that their sole purpose is meaningless because why else would try to get additional reassurance from the NFU? The only logical conclusion would be that the United States is contemplating preemptive strikes to North Korea and Iran and that our NFU towards China is intended to reassure them that the Nixon will attack North Korea for perennially, not for Beijing. That's the Americans and hasting and discredits the accompanying sole purpose declaration in Grumman 18, exception to personnel, Nazi, invited growth, and active growth that are pricing, but this frequently used to include that nuclear 1 out of 10 would break another declaration by U.S. administration and the international community include the formulation of the U.S. reward to operate outside the purview of assurances and rights. U.S. critically choose discrimination. The selective NFU would be seen as privileging particular categories. States global in 94. The only formal assurance to all of the countries in the state will have a significant commitment to ergonomic bonus and serve better reassurance and upward selective given any category. Say 3 mixed signals. Rogue states will interpret their sole purpose declaration in the context of the NFU towards the act and will assume their sole purpose is weaker due to differential treatment. That was the one at the evidence that's independent office of mere perception of uncertain messaging causes that a crisis escalation could not in 16 declaratory policy poses loose credibility of governmental organizations taking steps to counter comprehensive communication plan effectively communicates a declaratory policy that increases concern by sending consistent messaging cohesive plan less than the consistent messaging can be sent to create dangerous mistrust and leads to miscalculation and common permutation to the counterplan side for sole purposes distinct in 2 ways. One function and is exclusively a statement about how we intend to use nuclear weapons. The sole purpose is a statement about why we possess them in rank and 21. The sole purpose is not an NFU is more stringent formulation of comes it's not the statement NFU is when the use we use explicit employment of constrained sole purpose in contrast is what we use possesses the source and not how we use it. It's not impose employment constraints and the emphasis that the nukes care for the sole purpose of driving work for the sole purpose of driving work change the ER nothing will stop for NFU declares extending the carbon never drives the ER the counterplan acts the same practical nuclear strategy as the plan absent anti restriction that make it distinct choose the declaration as a distinct declaratory policy even if the implications are very similar one. Literally every sentence we would say about sole purpose, it doesn't have the utterance of the word no first use phrase is by U.S. spokespeople. It's functional, and NFU is nothing but declaratory. Sole purpose competes with the entire declaration of the plan by not saying the words chambers are all 21 and if it's declaratory, whatever nuclear power pledge is not donation, etc. Results in nuclear attack. You should also frame this through the fact that they have specified NFU to a specific country, which means that any sole purpose of permutation requires an extension beyond that, which means that it's confusing overall. The Einhorn evidence concludes that the Einhorn evidence that they concludes that white powers of waste of language is simply do sole purpose is equivalent to real NFU. That is what the counterplan does. Einhorn 21 in this view, sole purpose is subject to interpretation. If it appropriately crafted, mainly ambiguity, the administration will not support the sole purpose of intention interpretation permit first use. It would need to support NFU sole purpose or reject the next argument is that the capital allows first use. It doesn't. It's better than the plan. The bulk of reassurance come from following dialogues and transparency. NFU ensnares those dialogues and comparisons to disingenuous propagandistic pledges from the Soviet Union. Sole purpose unlocks the same conversation about added language. That's a little list. The plan also allows first use. It's literally a subset to NFUF, which means that any definitions that are about that obviously apply more to the F than they do to the counterclaim because it's a blanket statement. The next argument is about exceptions. One, there's zero link. The plan is literally it still allows first use. The credibility, it doesn't solve credibility argument. It doesn't make sense when they write a subset NFUF, which means that the declaratory policy they can't get any credibility benefits from it. There's only a marginal risk that the counterplan is better. I'll answer their big North Korea thing here. All we need to win is that nuclear deterrence doesn't work against North Korea. One security dilemma guarantees nuclear confidence in the Korean Peninsula. Now the U.S.'s response to Korea testing it and threats with nuclear first use threats of our own. Doubling down on nuclear deterrence drives more aggressive North Korean behavior, which ensures this calculation that goes nuclear. Biden's broad, but two, there's only a risk of our target. Kim doesn't want a war. Satellite 23, there's not a distance of beyond the nuclear indicators. And even if North Korea have now been observed that the broader strongly traditional has been crucial when North Korea threatens what follows and when it needs lethal provocation does not telegraph in advance work part and in advance for threatening to nuke the DMZ is not credible. Gomez and 18 Washington what has to make with nuclear effects and putting aside the cause of violence the type of use would attack considering the serious strike the DMZ were groups of well and would be hazardous to millions defending troops alliances contamination concept and counterattacking civilization is dangerous. The 1 year is going to be incredibly new.
Repart.
Sure, 5. The 1 year is going to be new, but like whatever. 5. The nukes don't prevent North Korean provocations. Party 24 with the election pro to running the only escalation as strained of situation by increasing urgency months after reading American audiences of North Korea raising men told Washington for negotiations. Washington for negotiations.
9:30.
That's probably a bigger failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly higher magnitude than.
I suppose.
Do we get stuff?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, this one's better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah, I just want to make sure.
Both advantages are really great.
213.
Jamin Sand, it's my view.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
What's your order?
It'll be the prolif advantage, or actually the war advantage, the prolif advantage, the advantage counter plan, the sole purpose counter plan. Oh shit. There is a problem with Microsoft Word and I apologize for the inconvenience. Jacob, do you see the winner?
Yeah, is it saved?
Should be.
I'm gonna make sure it's saved.
I have the add-on for the deterrence DA that you read for separate.
It is only the deterrence design.
Okay. Yes, this is saved. Okay.
Can I get the order one more time? while
Yeah,
you're
the
reviewing?
advantage about war,
Okay.
the advantage about proliferation,
Yeah.
the counter plan about the advantage,
It was.
the sole purpose counter plan.
War advantage, prolif advantage, advantage counter plan, sole purpose, starting on the turn, or on the descent.
Yeah, just this.
Okay.
I need 2 seconds. The crash.
Can you grab me another piece of paper, please?
The doctor.
Sorry, I floated this out on one of your sheets.
You're good.
Happens.
I just got one here.
No, they have to have like.
The expandos?
Yeah.
That would be tough.
Yeah.
That would make the other side a nightmare. Okay, are we good?
Sorry, no, I'm still
You
nailing it.
just let me know.
I'm good now.
Okay.
Conventional war would cause the U.S. first shutdown around there. 3 impacts. First catastrophe. Billions would die instantly. The war would spread globally, ensuring nuclear winter. That's McDonald's. Second, taboo. All bets would be off, leading to unrestrained use in every theater in mass nuclear destruction. That's Cooper. Third, the NPT intervene. The final nail in the coffin, driving focus towards nuclear modernization and away from myriad of existential threats like climate, disease, economic collapse, etc., which is the Gutierrez evidence. The first argument is restraint. There's no, it's the only way we would be out, which we would not be able to restrain because it's the only way that we could win a war in the Middle East. The second argument is geopolitics. This card does not even say the United States, but our geopolitical interests would be outweighed by military military doctrine. The third argument is mutual understanding. The card only says that U.S. diplomats do not want escalation, but of course we do not. But it is inevitable because we will first strike. The next argument is no Iran first use. This does not matter. Our internal link is about U.S. first strike. And the next argument is that NPT does not solve proliferation. Yes, it does. It's working in the status quo. The only arguments that are only warrants that the card makes is that it was failing in the past. Secondly, this key to stop liberal countries in the status quo, not North Korea, which is what the card decided. Our evidence that says a slew of countries like South Korea, Japan, or other countries that also in the Middle East would proliferate. The next argument is the taboo fails because people do not consider it in their nuclear planning. Yes, they do, in the instance that they are creating a nuclear bomb, they think about the implications of the taboo in the NBT. The second argument is that it's nebulous. We listed the countries that would proliferate above, which does not matter. The third argument is that Ukraine proves our argument, not theirs, because Ukraine has not escalated nuclearly yet because Russia does not want to break the taboo proliferation. Iranian nuclear proliferation cascades and causes global war. 3 scenarios. First is related immediately strike.
You are not reading the right thing.
Okay, yeah. Credibility. You should be highly skeptical of this drop straight stuff to Saudi. Whenever card 0 says anything about Saudi Arabia and the 1 and C, there's not a solvency advocates in the counterplan thing, which means all of the cards and analysis are new, and the 1 and C is just no agreement or deal, which is a solvency that's not an offensive argument. This means you give us leeway on new answers. Concede from the 1 and R that hard debate is good. Nothing is harder than new 1 and R's to the counterplan. We'll concede the AFF is not credible. We're going for the proliferation advantage or any of that offense. The internal link on advantage 1 is the U.S. first strike, which means that only the AFF and not the counterplan restrain it. But not a single card makes this gobbled up nonsense that Sean is trying to go for. Seriously, 1 and C and 2 and C cards do not get to the fact that except the counterplane, which is a new argument. You cannot find a card in the 1 and C saying that the AF causes Saudi prolif. New cards are justified, and then you cannot find a card saying that in the 2 and C either. This is not an argument. The second, their only offense is the Dagos card, which is a description of the status quo in Rovner, which is irrelevant because it's not in the context of an ally striking in response to U.S. threats. This is not a scenario we're going for. The advantage counterplane. Advantage counterplay permutation to both counterplay does not compete because card 0 says the AF undermines nuclear umbrella. Look for a card that does not exist. Alternate, it just said we shouldn't abandon the Middle East. No internal link saying the AF is not abandoning it right now. The SAB card is just like we want a security commitment, but not a nuclear commitment. Conventional shift solves. Not sure where the analysis is referencing, but the 1 and C did not read on the Ganowski evidence says that the NFU would not make them skeptical about an NFU counterplay. New cards are justified by the advantage. Proliferation is inevitable. The U.S. threats are on, even with commitments. Kessler, in 20, the U.S. allies will be sure that nuclear weapons are not worth letting Washington act aggressively. Dangerous sense of such advantage on Saudi Arabia. The Saudi cannot extend outside partners. The U.S. such as Saudi, the possible decades that again carry huge partners to accelerate proliferation concerns. U.S. back in every gender that takes Washington in our position whenever partners act aggressively. Outcome that are the perfect fear hiding. The need for nuclear weapons restraint can only do a hard job, and their intervention doesn't have ways not possess the accuracy and the ability of OCD or the melting top of it. You're supposed to make sure to resist and drop the AF surges conventional forces. That was Tuesday analytic. That's all it's going. It's taking conventional support. U.S. survival recommending building cover see through FMS training and education. Conventional sufficient regional aggressors that surveillance being enable the ground first and dismissal Saudi Arabia matter for escalation and other skip the card. The next card crisis are baked in inevitable covenant 16 in the U.S. and Saudi Arabia said they face severe problems with relations with the altered 1970 oil embargo Iranian revolution 9/11 and Iraq episode of crisis and how to make it into and during Saudi Arabia weaker than option 4. Sole purpose. North Korea war outweighs 1 most probable. Kim siege mentality, arsenal size, and hair sugar doctrine make the peninsula powder cake. Conventional operates because of conventional operation without authority regime travel, which causes early nuclear use. No-goes. Arsenal is small, so only the decided activates use of losers pressures 2 magnitude. Causes extinction. Act in 17 nuclear with the rendezvous with no code. They didn't go into the darkness. The guys just on the bombs. We need to miscalculate trial escalation unconventional because US and China's arsenal not enough for the Meloche atom bombs reach service. 3 it turns all of their other arguments. The plain promise of the nuclear taboo means a hollow island coming by the peninsula. Yes, no code war. 1, their cards are 2 status quo descriptive. We don't assume a massive shift in use policy. 2, do their ones apply to their scenarios. No, they do not. No code will escalate. Conventional conflict squeeze. And 22 and 21 no code provocation laws. US here are the terms of office and capabilities, military capabilities, targeter. Representative the ICP and the land and when US and office will try to give the ship which aggressive words word behind these and word of rendition nuclear attack and response and defense and on nuclear out of such a nuclear attack they can make an effect by rejecting in a few seconds. They drop the bioweapons at back. Nukes are the only thing to deter. That's the 1 and C. That's two been evidence nor evidence causes extinction because Rose seems to use an omnicidal weapon which would confer the knife on the other because it does not stop or because it is not deterred. I said there is a link to first there is a link to use. Note the counterplane causes to be a word. No goes hardliners bunkered on. Massive artillery shells enabled in a localized down minus in the conventional combat. It doesn't need to be just keeping our adversaries and guessing is enough to create a risk of deterring no good things. The first use is possible. Davis in 22. Certain possibilities of renewing the Shaikh DD barricades, certain possibility of returning over time, not inconceivable, so as the opposition is essential for Shaikh requiring news on uncertainties about location and leadership news would be improved with regular cooperation even if it's not very level possible. The US will not see an Indo against it or use so much to the order we already begun because they killed thousands. The final part card does not say anything, but if it does, it is answered about no deterrence works. Deterrence works came in 19 deterrence against any working and so go over news or sending south the target of deterrence over already no good from starting another word if target is not a deterrence another way. The US will maintain a robust deterrence has to be really however the check the use credible and status quo prevents invasion Chamberlain city and 16 minutes away no good receive an official to receive or use getting options best way to achieve this good job objective good change on official words and magic official server on 7 so good use it maintain a percent of your arsenal facilities for the ministers and this would protect the nuclear exactly also distinguish from the US of actually and even though use of that after the application no go beliefs in the US launch nukes.
The part card is marked at useful to believe that other states might have it. The NOCO believes that the US could use nukes.
I don't think that was on the dock.
Chamberlain, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Wrong.
Those cards are just under header 3, not header 4.
Did you see?
Yeah.
I got
Okay, sorry, can you say again where you are?
The Chamberlain card is
He's gonna
marked
pick
at
up 0 2.
useful for blank to have others believe it might be if NOCO believes that the US could use nukes.
Okay.
It's like how.
What should we have?
We have 3.
321.
It's actually really fucking bad. Really? Yeah.
It's all too like.
It's too ritzy.
Yeah.
There's no like just like nice, like a decent place you can go and like a decent kind of thing. It's either Dodge or like massively expensive and like a whole occasion.
Did you read this? That solves code 16.
Yes, the conventional one.
Yeah. For sure. You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good area. Yeah.
Being on the Beltline is nice. How close are you to Prague?
3 miles or Grog.
Prague.
Like 3 miles.
Oh, that's not bad.
2 miles.
It's not bad. We would always go to Prague and walk on the Beltline after. Just get into this nice area. I wonder what Buckhead is like. I actually need to go to Buckhead while I'm here because the girl who lives in my apartment is getting my tax documents. So I need to go pay her a visit.
Used to live in Buckhead.
I used to, yeah.
When you were like, yeah, because that's
When I lived in Atlanta. Well, so when I first moved to Atlanta, obviously after graduation,
Yeah.
I lived in Buckhead first, and then I lived in Decatur afterwards. Yeah. I lived here for a long time. I lived here 2 years.
We should live together.
Do you know where Shaikh is?
Isn't that? That's like not big difference.
It is.
Like downtown.
No. Do you know where like Scott Boulevard is?
The order will be
So it's
the sole purpose page.
Zoom in. I live like
war advantage.
Sole purpose, prolif war. Perfect.
Object permanence, 100 tablecloth.
We got it at 3 a.m. man.
No, I feel that.
It's not. Right now. Okay. Everybody good? Okay. Kick's sole purpose. There's no link to the North Korea deterrence disad. The 2AC and 1AR have double dropped an external disad. It was never internal to sole purpose. They have conceded that bilateral NFU signals to adversaries that the U.S. will first strike them because they believe that the U.S. is clarifying their declaratory policy to ramp up their nuclear first strike capabilities against them. They have dropped that this specifically threatens North Korea. We will concede that in the status quo, North Korea. Sorry, I set my timer for not 6.
You run 535.
535. We will concede that North Korea will not escalate. We will concede that North Korea will not escalate now, but the plan guarantees it because they would perceive it as the preconditions for a first strike against them. They have dropped a massive impact, which is that even the risk of the perception of preemption draws in China immediately to defend North Korea before they think the United States will strike them. They have dropped that this draws in Russia and China, collapses global agriculture and ends civilization. Even the perception of preemption is escalatory because adversaries will abandon cooperation and diplomatic collaboration over a multitude of escalatory flashpoints. This independently go nuclear and cause extinction outweighs one probability. It dropped it, so it has to be 2. It's bigger. U.S.-China dyad is the largest nuclear dyad in the world. It's most likely to cause extinction, and it's far more probable than a draw-in scenario in Iran because there are numerous internal links that might prevent that escalation. You should hold the line. The one NR made the choice to only extend a turn. We're kicking the counterplan, and they dropped an external thesis, so it's game. Advantage counterplan. The permutation, Garrett, we have conceded that Iranian proliferation happens now, and they have conceded that the plan is not credible. So you know in the status quo, Iranian proliferation happens. We've also conceded that absent a nuclear umbrella would cause Saudi nuclearization, and we've conceded that causes extinction. Those are all arguments in the 1AC, but a series of permutation cards say that the combination of the advantage counterplan with the plan would make it. The combination of the advantage counterplan with the plan would make it impossible. The counterplan solves by strengthening the nuclear umbrella to Saudi Arabia. Says we'll protect them in any contingency with nuclear weapons, which means that they would never need to get nuclear. We would never need to use nuclear weapons of our own. Or the 2 and T cards all explicitly say that the combination of that with NFU would make it incredibly uncredible. They think that we would not use nuclear weapons first. Also, the primary aggressor against Saudi Arabia is Iran. So if the plan promises that we would never use nuclear weapons against them, then it certainly does not assure them in any possible way that we have had impact. They have conceded that there's no other impact to this, so it must outweigh. Proliferation outweighs the war advantage. New nuclear states are the most likely. New nuclear states are the most likely to escalate because they do not know how to use nuclear weapons yet. They don't have secure second strike, etc. We have conceded an impact, which means you have to get the full weight. We have impact defense and the other stuff, so it must outweigh. They say no war causes extinction. This is irrelevant. This is irrelevant. We have said that This says that Iranian proliferation is inevitable. They have dropped that the counterplan solves Saudi proliferation, and there's no external impact to Iran because the plan cannot solve it. Next, they say that we have dropped a conventional surge. They did not read evidence of the 1AR that says that it solves Saudi. They did not read evidence that says that it solves Saudi. Just says broadly conventional weapons can assure. Our permutation cards say that nuclear weapons are explicitly key because they're afraid of Iranian nuclear strikes, which conventional forces don't solve. Independently, we will concede a 1AC argument, top of the 1AC war advantage, which was that U.S. conventional forces cannot deter Iran. They're not close enough. They're not there enough. Obviously, we get new answers because this was blitzed through in the 1AR, and they were incredibly unclear and fast. They say crises are inevitable. This is wrong. Nuclear. This just says that the U.S. and Saudi Arabia fight sometimes. Nuclear weapons. The nuclear commitment outweighs. Even if they don't like us that much, they would certainly not want to nuclearize in the world of the counterplan. The proliferation advantage. The 1AC explicitly said that new Saudi Arabia proliferation causes extinction. We conceded. The permutation cards give us the internal link. Conceding that the affirmative is not credible means that it is obviously try or die. Independently, what are they doing? This also means that Iran would not perceive the U.S. NFU as credible, so they would probably preempt if they are correct. But the first advantage, no impact to it. No, there is certainly no impact to it. I want you to take a step back and ask yourself, why would the United States send a nuclear weapon against Iran? One, we have read a slew of evidence that says that the U.S. does not want to go to war with Iran. They think that it would be far too destructive. It is too dangerous, and they do not think that there's a substantial risk that Iran will first strike them in the status quo. 2, we've heard evidence that says that even when Iran fucking killed U.S. soldiers, they still did not escalate. They turned to other diplomatic means. 3, big dropped argument. They have conceded that low-level retaliation solves. We kill Soleimani, they kill a couple of U.S. soldiers, but it never escalates because neither side wants that to occur. You should remember a pretty big moment in the 2EC when they answered all of this by just saying that our evidence does not assume a new strike. It does not assume new strikes against Iranian soldiers, and then they conceded that Iranian preemption does not matter and only went to for a U.S. first-use argument, which means that they certainly do not have a uniqueness scenario. They certainly do not have uniqueness scenario. Our evidence is far better. Our evidence is far better. Our evidence is far better than theirs. It has warrants. What is the warrant for why the U.S. would just use nuclear weapons in the first place? I'm ranting, so I'm going to move on. Now, there is no impact. The NDT cannot solve proliferation, or they have only answered the first piece of evidence they dropped. The second piece, which says that latent proliferation is occurring in the status quo, inevitably shreds NPT credibility. They have not said that the plan externally solves the. They have not said that the NPT. They have not said the plan externally solves the NPT. They just said that first striking Iran would be bad, which means impact defense answers it, but also it is certainly not unique. Yes, our evidence is about the past. It is obviously good to analyze the history of the NPT to determine how it will continue to work in the future. And now, there's no external impact to taboo. I'm pretty sure they only went for this as a proliferation impact, which would be by the straight term, or they have conceded that it does not, or they have conceded that it does not occur on the NPT stuff. But there is certainly no nuclear taboo. They could have conceded a slew of evidence that says that states are realists. They don't care about norms. They only care about security policy, which means establishing a global norm of non-use fails. That is proven by Ukraine. It does not have evidence. The Russia threatened to use nuclear weapons. They have moved TNWs. They have vastly increased the risk of escalation. None of this would be. This would vastly increase the risk of escalation. None of this would be the case. None of this would be the case if it was true that there was a global norm of non-use. Yeah, go back to the no war stuff. Their arguments here are absurd. They say we need to win a conventional war. This is wrong. Our evidence says that they do not want to try to start a conventional war because they do not think it is a substantial risk. They say our evidence is not about the U.S. This is wrong. Every piece of George evidence that we have read is explicitly about the U.S. Military doctrine is not a way because our evidence is in the context of military doctrine says they would never escalate. Yes, there's mutual understanding. This escalate, or at least our evidence is great. And there's a drop dissent, so if you vote F, I'm like gonna be really sad.
Start putting together a doc. What do you have to do this summer? No? You're sticking around now? Nice. Not anymore, you're doing Andy.
What?
Okay. Right.
Once a month, it's like
Yeah.
I go to visit my brother in Germany.
Oh shit, Ben's in Germany.
My older brother. Yeah, he lives there.
Nice.
No, Ben lives in California now. So
What's he
also,
up to?
he's a geologist.
Oh,
At
that's
USGS.
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Where in California is it?
San Jose.
Nice.
Bay Area. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll probably just visit both of them. That's
Nice.
a good summer.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, no,
Okay. I'm working for Delta. I'm doing a paralegal internship. Yeah, and then I'm doing like a research technical professor at school. Yeah. So it'll be good. It'll be busy,
Yeah.
busy summer, but maybe I'll write a topic paper again. Just because it was so fucking funny last time. Maybe I should do it again.
What did you write last time?
Sanctions.
Oh.
Yeah. And then just got blasted on Facebook. But like with very positive comments. But just like they were really stupid. So
Hey, Cito was like going out of his way to make the sanctions topic the only topic.
wait, I don't get that joke.
That was the tweet or the Facebook post from on like the shit that was happening
Oh,
on Facebook
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
I-
CETA unilaterally
yeah.
decided the sanctions topic was the topic. Okay, can I have a stand, Owen?
It was bad though because like it started off with
Oh,
like,
it's
people
okay.
getting like people actually getting like real substantive comments like, hey, nice paper guys, because it was just me and Nina. And then it randomly got super dumb. Where like everyone was just like, holy shit, this paper is insane.
War, prolif, advantage, counter cleanse, sole purpose. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Everyone good?
Okay.
U.S. Iran wars inevitably gearing up now. Israel strike on Iranian generals that killed hundreds of enemies in Iran. Is ramping up their strike back into the U.S. goes nuclear. U.S. has to because of unconventional inferiority, which is the only warrant in the card for only warranted. And we said evidence in the entire fucking debate that says the U.S. would first strike and all the posturing and the tune about why the U.S. wouldn't nuclear first strike makes no fucking sense when they don't have evidence. That we have cards that say the Operation Islamic evidence is the best card in the basis that conventional inferiority in the Middle East because Iran beats the U.S. 10-1 means that the U.S. would have to use a nuclear weapon in order to win a war against Iran, kills billions, instantly outweighs the magnitude trade turn was a bad choice because the only piece of evidence that they have read half of this is the Bowman card, which is a piece of shit. I know I cut the card, it doesn't say anything but regional war and arms race, so regional explanation for that to an R explanation is massively out of the card. Second credibility stuff, conventional war is the only internal link to that. There's no reason why Russia or China would go nuclear result of the app. Now the internal link stuff, they say there's no new internal link for U.S. first use. Yes, they've not read a piece of defense that says the U.S. would not first strike in the conflict with Iran. That is a massive red flag for the entirety of the defense card because we want any risk that Iran war is inevitable or ramping up now and 1% risk that a conflict starts. The reason it immediately goes nuclear because the U.S. would fail and lose a conventional conflict. Only we haven't been saying this yet. Evidence is the best card from a bunch of Iranian scholars who have spent years in Iran studying their doctrine, etc., and learn what they do. The low-level conflict, they don't want to go to war stuff. The Hirsch evidence applies here. Also, the Israel strike is new. Iran has changed their mind and said that they want to go to war with the U.S. because they think that Israel has, quote, crossed a red line that they have vowed to retaliate against. The Hirsch evidence also said that even if the NATO side wants to, they will escalate. What is the evidence says that the militia groups are forcing their hand. Israel is forcing the U.S.'s hand, causing it, which is all implicated by the new April evidence of low-level stuff solves Gaza's uniqueness. Soleimani stuff happened out of the blue, away from the Gaza stuff. Gaza has changed the game in the Middle East and means that Iran is willing to escalate, especially given the Israeli strike, which members demonstrated it's wrong. Evidently says that we went accomplish so we solved geopolitics. The card doesn't even say the U.S. and mutual understanding. The card doesn't even say policy, just says diplomats want war. Obvi, no. Iran first strike doesn't matter because our scenarios U.S. first strike now, the pro advantage. I don't know what the fuck this credibility stuff is trying to do. We've only internally we've done for on the app is the U.S. first strike. The credibility stuff is irrelevant to that because we've not said that Iran escalates conflict or Iran does. If we say war stays conventional as a result of the app, and we say that does not no go nuclear, which is the only scenario now. The counter plan permutation do both. They made a big mistake making this argument because they're missing a link to it. 0 cards. It's that if you collapses the nuclear umbrella to Saudi Arabia, you should have listened to the 1 ER when we indented every single card that the 2NC had read. Then they did not have a card that says it. I will go through that here first. The 1NC cards. Whoops, they didn't read a card in the 1NC, which is a new argument in the 2NC. Second, the ultimate evidence is missing internal link. It says that the nuclear umbrella is critical to Saudi. It does not say the NFU changes the nuclear umbrella. They don't have a card saying this. Second, the Saab card does not say nuclear. It just says that Saudi wants a commitment to it. The conventional surge stuff obviously is able to resolve that because it's a conventional surge that happens as a result of the app. The no, this analytic argument that the 2NC had said does not have a card backed up because there's no 1NC evidence for it. Then the Gosmonks evidence does not have an internal link because it just says that Saudi fears the abandonment of the nuclear umbrella. Again, no internal link that says that the NFU causes Saudi to abandon the nuclear umbrella because there's no reason why. This kind of link cannot compete or also resolve the straight turn of that benefit. If it cannot compete and solve that benefit, they can't go for it. The only argument they have is the no conventional stuff. Conventional solves the cone evidence about the perception of Saudi Arabia. You should actually read the card instead of just randomly indicting and posturing in the 2 and R. The card says, quote, that Saudi Arabia is reassured by conventional weapons and BMD, troop deployments, etc., which are a result of the app. We said it in the 2AC is a result of the fiat obligation of the app in order to signal to Iran that we are willing to not use nuclear threats, causes it, then solves a no deter Iran. Deter doesn't apply to an ally because the deterrence answers are relevant. As the last argument that doesn't matter. Now, the sole purpose kind of one massive issues that they dropped a bioweapons impact that causes extinction faster than nuclear war because it outweighs the categorically on time frame. The pathogens are lethal and transmissible. The 2AC Benedict says that the Neo 3 has them in locked up in a cage, is willing to use them but doesn't want to now because of U.S. nuclear first strike that the kind of plan for swears, but the app does not, which turns it or is quick, causes extinction time frame faster than the app because the disease quickly spreads. Think about how fast COVID spread within months. The credibility stuff all requires it to be the massive breakdown, i.e. the fact that they have to the Chinese and Russian leaders first have to perceive the app as changing posture, and then they have to perceive new operational changes as a result of the app in order for the credibility internally to happen, which means they cannot get it. But the pathogen in that time frame happens quickly, spreads across everyone, and kills everyone because only Euro 3 has a lethal pathogen and bioweapon is able to kill everyone. That outweighs the scenario
towards this area in the 2-R. They've conceded the Hastings card from the link to the card. They cannot win because they're missing an internal link that says that the AFF causes Russia, China, etc. to receive the AFF as a reason why they are being peaceful towards them. It is not our fault that you have read a counterplan to a big NFU AFF and not read an internal link to a subset Iran NFU AFF. There's not a card in this debate that says that Iran NFU or subset NFU is perceived by China or Russia as trying to create peace or adversaries, etc. But there is a card saying that the AFF increases nuclear deterrence threats towards China and Russia that solves the Hastings card, which revealed their 1NC link card to this North Korea stuff. And in the 1AC insolvency condition says that, quote, this card that exceptions to first use cause an increase in deterrence. It means that it happens. Deterrence works on the North Korea cards applicable. The China and Russia, which means it happens. There's no causal link. It's never applied. The China or Russia missing it. The AFF reduces focus on other nations and threats it solve. The 1AC card says we increase nuclear threats outside the country. They conceded it. Just contemplating this R means that nuclear threats are more credible. They have also conceded. On the dis side, the nuclear threats are broadly accessible theory, which means it solves Russia and China. Look. Bioweapons dropped, nuclear deterrence solves. The Bennett evidence says that nuclear deterrence raises the level in what happens to North Korea. That quickly happens in outweighs the time frame before any of this credibility stuff can happen. So even for right that we drop this net benefit, they outweighs quickly in time frame and happens faster. There's also not an internal link. 2-R block has not explained how the AFF is perceived by Russia and China and changes that perception and causes them to build up the US first strike, drop that the operational change of the AFF is a conventional surge, which is distinct from gearing up for a US first strike. And first strike threats are also inevitable versus these nations because they already have first strike, and the first use policy doesn't apply to them. Good way.
Good.